Hi there, hope you're all doing well. With the announcement of the Banished coming to Halo Flashpoint, it has got me in the mood to paint up some more of my Spartans. Since I'm about halfway through the Spartan box, I'm going to be switching over to taking my time on these minis instead of the speed painting approach I've taken previously. With that in mind, I prime the Spartan Brawler black and get started on the mid-tone for the undersuit. You did hear that correctly. Since I primed the mini black, I'm going to be using that as the shadow colour to save that extra step, as there's no real reason in going back over the black with another black. So instead I jump straight into the mid-tone with lead grey. While I paint in the lead grey, let's get the YouTuber things out of the way. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You're also welcome to come and hang out in Discord and share anything you have been working on using the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video and find it useful. Now I'll move on to the first of the highlights by mixing in a little blue-grey and going over all of the areas that will be in the light. This is where I start to establish the light direction and which areas of the mini need to be brighter. This step is then followed up by a little more blue-grey in the mix just over the edges and the corners that will be in direct sunlight. You could probably go all the way up to blue-grey in this step, but I thought it would make it a little bit too bright and I want this to be a bit more black still. After dotting in the last few corners, I move on to the next part, which is the armour. This takes a very long time to base coat, but I would say taking my time is definitely worth it, as I plan to leave a lot of that black in between the panels to get some deep shadows. This deep Azure could have probably done with a little bit extra thinning. It's a little bit thick out of the bottle, but a couple of coats and it covers this black nicely and ended up nice and smooth. After 20 minutes of base coating just the armour, I can finally move on to the next step. I mixed in a little Aquamarine and began the process of bringing up the light values and edges on the darker panels. This layer does cover a fair bit of the main colour. I want the armour to look this colour, and it's only a little bit deeper shadowed panels that don't get a once over with this. They just get a quick edge highlight. This step didn't take nearly as long to complete, which seems the case for most minis, at least in the way that I paint. My base coating always takes longer than the actual bringing up of the midtones and getting the colours I want for these sections. But now that is finished, I used pure Aquamarine to bring up the brightest panels and just went around the edges and a scratchy highlight. The scratchy highlight helps bring that battle worn look as opposed to a fresh off the assembly line. That brings the bulk of the mini to an end. It's now time to move on to the needler and the visor with a base coat of Amethyst Rayne. This covers the entire visor but only the outer casing of the needler. After a quick base coat, I mixed in a little Runic purple in order to get the mid-tone going. Covering the majority of the needler casing again, I just left that bottom darker as it will be in shadow. For the visor, I went around in the middle and left the darker tone around the edges. To finish up these parts, I did a highlight of pure Runic purple just around the edges and top parts of the casing. With the purple finished, I get the needles done. These will get base coated with hot pink, which takes a few coats to get up to that cover over the black primer, but once it's done it's nice and bright. Although not as bright as the highlight of neo pink, which I go over just the tops of the needles with. For the final parts of the needler, I use Surcoat Silver over everything that is still black. I almost forgot, but the knife hilt also gets a quick once over with this. Now before I show you the base steps, I'm going to skip a colour and show you that I gave the silver and the undersuit a wash with dark tone wash. This just darkens down those recesses a little bit more and blends the highlights back to a more natural level. Going backwards a little bit now, I give the base a once over with Scabbard Brown. I'm also committing a bit of a mini painting sin by painting the base rims this colour as well. My other Halo minis have black base rims, but I'm starting to think maybe a coloured rim works in some situations. With that sin out of the way, I used Chronos Flesh to dry brush over the raised parts of the base. Normally I try to avoid getting this on the mini, but this time around I actually want to dirty up the feet a little bit, just so it adds a bit more feel of them being in that environment, and it saves on me using pigments later on. To finish off painting the mini, I gave the base a wash with soft tone. I specifically say finish painting the mini because the wash dries and I actually stick on some tufts afterwards. And that was it for the Spartan Brawler. It was nice to get back to Halo Flashpoint. I still have so many minis to get through, but even though I'm going to be putting in more effort and take my time on the remaining minis, it doesn't take that long per mini. This one only took around 90 minutes from start to finish, so I could probably get a playable fire team painted up over a weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You of course are always welcome to join Discord using the link in the description, where you can chat, hang out and share anything you have been hobbying on. If you're looking to pick up Halo Flashpoint or some painting supplies, there are some affiliate links in the description below, where I get a little bit of a kickback and no extra charge to yourselves. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to drop the like and subscribe for more content. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.